The final installment of our focus this week on the exploding economy of China takes an in-depth look at the opportunities for BC industry in the world's most populous country. As Brian Coxford reports, once you're in, the possibilities are almost limitless. But getting there takes a level of determination and patience that's rare in the Western world.
Another construction project going ahead using BC wood. This one halfway around the world in a place where bricks and mortar have been the traditional construction materials for thousands of years. No one knows how difficult it is to crack this potentially huge but very difficult market more than the BC Ministry of Forests. The housing project in Shanghai is one of 3 areas in China where the wood experts are building in an attempt to prove to the Chinese that wood is a viable building option for them.
It's a slow process, it's an onerous process, but it's worth the time you put in because it's a cascading effect once the approvals start to come. It took us 2 years to get the first commercial application. It's taking us about a week now to go through the whole process from the top level of government down through the district because we've been down that path.
This is the fastest growing, soon to be the largest market in the world. So if you can get your foot in the door here, the upside can be huge. In Beijing, with a very strong central government and virtually no bureaucracy, an endless labor force, building construction is done in months. Architects from around the world have been invited here to design buildings that have essentially given them and Beijing their canvas in the sky. In China, development moves ahead so fast because there's no bureaucracy. There's no public hearings here, no special interest groups to satisfy. It just gets done. Office buildings go up in a matter of months. Just behind me here, they just started work on a 4-level mall. There'll be 5 office towers here, 4 apartment towers. It'll be finished in a year.
The core business of Ballard is to design, manufacture, sales and service of hydrogen and fuel cell products.
Among the many BC tech companies exchanging business cards with Beijing contacts here, hoping to penetrate the China market, is Ballard Power Systems. The Vancouver company recently refocused its global strategy, moving away from fuel cell cars to concentrate on hydrogen-fueled buses. And an even bigger market, fuel cells that back up power systems for small business and cell phone networks. Both have huge potential in the vast China market.
Countries where there's a heavy load on the grid and you're going to have brownouts, blackouts, those kind of things, you're there.
Reliability issues are opportunities for us, and we can help back up critical systems in everything from hospitals to government to business.
You see the Asian market and the Indian market as your future?
Absolutely.
What makes China so attractive? It has 440 million cell phone users, growing in massive numbers every day. And if the electricity grid that provides service for the phone networks goes down, Ballard's fuel cells could be the savior here.
You know, the whole Pacific Rim positioning, the reality of frontier markets, which have more than 1 billion people in countries like China and India, GDP growth 9-10% and more. That's just unique in terms of the opportunity, and it's on a scale that dwarfs some of the business opportunities in North America.
Well beyond what's here.
Well beyond what's here.
But as market seekers like BC Forestry Innovation Investments have discovered, it takes patience, years to build trust in business here. You can't do it by email or on the phone.
If you come over here hoping to send, sign contracts and agreements in your first 2 days, it's just not realistic. You really have to develop relationships.
Several visits.
Several visits, a lot of banquets, a lot of really one-on-one interaction with your potential business partners before you start talking about business.
But if you're a business with something to offer, the rewards at the end are huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the scale of the population here is enormous, and also people are starting to recognize that it is this domestic consumption, it's the domestic consumer market that really is the next big prize.
The big prize is for BC companies to gain a business foothold here. If we can get the Chinese to walk on boardwalks made of BC wood, gain the trust of wood as a building product, as many have found in the BC Gateway Park project in Guangdong, we will be less dependent on today's ups and downs of traditional U.S. customers for our wood.